No, I'm just sitting here looking pretty and shit. Anyways. Hello, angels. Welcome back to the Cosmic Taylor. If you are new here, don't worry. So am I. I'm Taylor, here to tailor you to your highest timeline. Today, I wanted to do this reading of in what ways are you a blessing? All right? Because I feel like people are really missing that right now. There's a lot of why energy. Well, I'm not going to be able to give you the answers to the why, but I'm going to show you exactly who you are, because we're tired. We're tired of you missing the point. We're tired of you not seeing exactly who you are, okay? Don't let your past hold you back. This card was separated from the rest of the deck, and Work Through Your Fears was on the very bottom of it. So, there's something here where you're kind of scared of your own power. You're kind of scared of who you are. And that's okay. Everybody is on their own journey, on their own path of figuring out who they are and what they're doing and what they want to become in their life. Clear. It's your job. Excuse me. Confirmation burps, to work through those fears. 1, 2, 3 on the timer. Look at this. The momentum, the energy is gaining momentum, and work through your fears. This is my favorite color, by the way. Do you see this? The thing about having this as my favorite color, it's been my favorite color since I was a child. My little brother got me this cat that's my favorite color for Christmas a couple years ago. And the thing about it is that it kind of changes in a way that I've noticed throughout the years, where sometimes I like it when it's my favorite when it's a more neon color, or I like it more when it's a lot softer like this, or when it's deeper like this one, and so maybe that's something that you're realizing about yourself, that as you go through life and as you phase and go through different changes, you don't really change on a fundamental level, because it's the same hue, you know what I mean? 2, 2, 2 on the timer. It's the same color, it just changes in shade and in value, you know what I mean? If you understand what those meanings are. But basically, if you're not an artist, 2, 3, 4 on the timer, it changing in shade as in it can become a lot more bright like neon, or kind of gray, and value talks about the shadows and lights of it, if you get what I mean. The hue of it changing in hue is it might be a little bit more purple, or it might be a little bit more pink, or it might be a little bit more blue, or it might be a little bit more green, you know what I mean? Yeah. So ancestors, angels, universe, spirit guides, higher self, Mother Earth, and God. Ooh. In what ways is this collective a blessing? In what ways is this collective of beautiful people a blessing? Which way did you want that one? Oh, falling down. Which way did you want that one? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go grab that really fast. All right, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Which way did you want that? Okay. In what ways is this collective a blessing? Which way did you want that? Oh, okay. General energy. This is one way that you are a blessing, and I'm hearing that this is a way that you are a blessing to this planet, to this earth, okay? And it says your commitment is being tested. You are a test. You are a very beautiful, wonderful, fantastic test. You're the kind of person that is actually to give you more of an understanding, I'm going to read all these cards to you so that you understand where this is going, right? We have surrender to the divine in the reverse. Hold on. Time to take action, new moon in Aries. Don't let your past hold you back again. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. Have faith in your dreams with waxing crescent moon, and the answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini, okay? Your commitment is being tested. You are a test of commitment to people, specifically when it comes to their integrity and their divine alignment, okay? Excuse me, confirmation burp. With surrender to the divine being in the reverse, this isn't to say that you do not surrender to the divine. It's actually very much so the opposite. You are one in the same, like constantly in connection with the divine. There's no separation there. And like when you have to go through periods of surrender, it isn't like, maybe you have a little bit of push and pull with the divine, but it's never in question as to whether or not you're going to go through with what the divine is asking of you. You always go through with what the divine asks, no matter what, no matter how long it takes. You always commit to what the divine asks over and over and over and over again. Like, that's just how it is. With it's time to take action, you always take the action that the divine guides you to do, right? And that's like what makes you so ethereal. That's what makes you so angelic. That's what makes you so divine. Like, that's why people, when they look at you 555 on the timer, they like, it's either one of two reactions. Either they're immediately triggered, turned off, turned away, and like icked by you, or they're immediately like drawn in, magnetized to you, turned on, wanting to be around you and sticking around to your energy, right? The same exact kind of thing that people go through when they first become non-believers or believers with the divine. You know what I mean? You are a blessing because you are able to bring this divine energy that exists out in like the realms, and you're able to ground it in a way that is very like a very, like, I'm hearing it in a very fundamental way, because Aries, that is the first sign in the zodiac. You literally, like, you are the first of your kind. You are not like other people, and there are plenty of other people that are like you and you are like them, but it's to say that like you are so unique in signature when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your eloquence is what I'm hearing, when it comes to your thoughts, your ideas, your communication, your heart, the way that you love, the way that you accept, the way that you move forward, the way that you heal, and in the way that you take action, in the way that you move forward with the things that you want to do, with the things that you want to see in the world. You are so like innately divine. Everything you do is, like, I'm hearing it's wrought with divine intention, which is like a very interesting way to put it, because like that's in a, like the connotation to that makes it seem like it's very like negative, you know what I mean? But it's not. 747 on the timer, it's like, that's the thing though, people find this part of you, of who you are, to be devastating. They find that this aspect of you is a devastating aspect, because first of all, it takes an entire lifetime to be able to hone this kind of connection in order to get to this point. Can we talk about how I look, like the way that I'm dressed up today, and how I'm like did my makeup? I did a very like simple, like little like brown eyeshadow you can't even freaking see, with mascara, my lip gloss, some highlighter, and then this is my background with all of my favorite little plushies. Like, this is literally what it's like though, because like people are looking at you and like they see it as like this very like, this energy is very like serious, dull, scary, right? They see it like something like, oh, that's kind of intimidating, like that's a little intimidating. I don't even look intimidating right now, not with this bell choker on. Are you kidding me? And the amethyst. Maybe if it was just the bell choker, maybe I could see it, but like I have little fucking flower earrings on right now, girl. How am I intimidating? The fuck? But that's exactly it, though. It's just your vibe. It's just your energy that's so intimidating to these people, right? But when you actually get to know you, when people actually get to understand you, they realize that you're really just like really in tune and connected with the fun, like soft things in life. For example, I've been putting this on a bunch. It's literally Lilo and Stitch lip gloss. Like, and if you didn't see that, like, the packaging is so fucking sleek that you probably would have assumed it's some kind of other brand. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the entire thing. People have to take a closer look at you to be able to understand just how interesting and fun you are, right? Don't let the past hold you back being clarified by have faith in your dreams. this is exactly like one of the ways in which you are like such a huge blessing to this world. Because the thing is, you do not allow the past circumstances or past versions of you to oh god, what's it called, limit who you are now. Okay, because you've gotten to this point on your growth journey where you're like, yes, I am the same person, yes, I'm the same thing, just as the seed that grew the plant that blossomed and that became an entire bush is still technically just the seed. But at the end of the day, you're never going to look at the bush and be like, you are like, man, I can't believe you were so tiny and like insignificant and like it meant absolutely nothing. I can't believe you used to grow like that. I can't believe you grew like that. Ugh. Oh my god, gross. I can't, like, oh my god. Remember when you went through that phase where all of the blossoms you were blossoming were like all on one side and like you were so dilapidated. It looks so icky. No. Like, what the fuck? Like, the bush doesn't do that to itself. That's silly. That's goofy shit. 11:11 on the timer. You're able to. I'm sorry, I have cat hair in my mouth right now. Hold on. Okay. You don't allow the past versions of you to, like, to dignify shredding yourself to pieces because you're better now than you were before. You just find there's like a lot of like it's silly. It's silly to do that, you know what I mean? The bush wouldn't do that to itself. No plant does that to itself. But like human beings, we're conditioned into doing that to ourselves. For some reason, I have a few theories. I have a few theories. But we are conditioned to constantly compare ourselves to when we were not at our best. But the thing is, at the end of the day, no matter what you do, no matter how far you go, no matter how much you grow and change in life, there is no best version of yourself. 12:12 on the timer. And that's what you've learned, and that's kind of like the blessing that you're bringing to this world by actualizing this lesson that you've learned, by grounding this lesson that you've learned, by showing people, hey, just because you were one way 5 years ago does not mean that you now is worthless. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. And actually, when you hold yourself to standards of being better than you were before, you are telling yourself that at some point in some way you were worth less than who you are now, and that is just fundamentally incorrect. Fundamentally wrong. At no point are you worth less than who you are now. No point in life. At no point in life are you worth more or less than you were before. You were born with an innate worth, an innate worth and value, because you're a human being with a human life and a human brain. 13:13 on the timer. You have absolute, wondrous, whimsical ideas, and you are here to actualize them. So, actualize them. You're here to show people that dreams, 13:31 on the timer, that dreaming and having ideas and wanting to grow and change and become who you really are, right? And to actualize who you really are on a very physical level, it's not a bad thing. It's not delusional. It's not crazy. It's not strange. It's not something that should be critiqued or something that should be attacked. It is something that should be loved and embraced. And just because once upon a time you didn't imagine that it was possible for you doesn't mean that you can't get there now. The door is always open. You just have to be willing to walk through it instead of standing there, 14:14 on the timer, and judging yourself for if you walked through the door. Who cares about the ifs? The what ifs in life are not the what ares. And at the end of the day, when we all die, we're not going to want to go ahead and look back at our lives and be like, man, I can't believe I let so many what ifs get in the way of the what was and what like the reality was. You know what I mean? I wish I took more chances on myself. I guarantee you that almost every person that has ever died on this planet and has looked back on their life, one of their biggest regrets was always not, like, investing in themselves more. One of their biggest regrets was not trusting in themselves more, pouring into themselves more, loving themselves more, and making choices that were more right and aligned with themselves. You know? Yeah. 15:15 on the timer. Meditate and contemplate with the answers you need are coming. It's interesting that we have the Pisces and the Gemini, right? The two signs that are like twins, twin energy, you know? Yeah, it's only two. Well, technically, I guess Capricorn and Sagittarius are kind of like that too, because it's like half horse, half man, half goat, half fish. But this is different, okay? Because these two energies are really heavy and talk really heavy about dichotomy, and I literally put them back on on the opposite sides of which I had them set up before. That's exactly what you do, actually. You are a blessing of dichotomy. You show the world and you show people that one thing can be true and the same, like, and the thing on the opposite end, the thing on the other side of the corn, hello? Maybe you enjoy corn. I don't know. 16:16 on the timer. But one thing on one end of the coin and the other thing on the other end of the coin, and the two things on the ends of the spectrum can be true at the same time. They don't have to be separate. And in fact, if one of them is true, the other one has to be true, because there is no such thing as one thing existing and the other not. All right? You are a perfect prime example of showing that to people and being like, listen, you, like, for example, let's say you do take a chance on yourself and you do go and chase your dreams, right? Because everybody should. Everybody should take a chance on themselves and go chase their dreams. Everybody has that right, 100,000%, okay? And with this dichotomy, sure, there are going to be people out there that absolutely hate you. People are going to be out there that hate you, that despise you, that don't want to see you succeed, that don't want to see you happy, that don't want to see you fulfilled, that don't want to see you try and actually put yourself out there. There, 17:17 on the timer, there are going to be people out there that want to sabotage you. There are going to be people out there that want to, like, derail you, that want to guilt trip you, that want to attack you, that want to manipulate you, that want to try to do everything in their power to disenfranchise you, right? And to try to get you off of that journey. But on the other end of it, there are just as many people out there that are going to want to support you, that are going to want to celebrate you, that are going to want to love you, accept you, play and enjoy life with you, you know? And I don't mean play in the way like player energy. No, I mean genuinely play, like having fun, like play, like, for example, I'm seeing the game Dungeons and Dragons, you know? I'm also seeing Risk and Sorry, like board games, card games. I'm seeing people like at tables, like genuinely enjoying each other's company, drinking some juice, drinking some wine, drinking some soda, eating chips, and like one of those like vegetable plates, like, you know what I mean? There are just as many people out there that are going to want to have an absolute blast with you and want to protect you and want to hold you up and support you and fight for you and defend you, right? And so just because there are things out there, or there are people out there, or even you yourself have a part of you that doesn't want you to try, that doesn't want you to exist, that doesn't want you to succeed, there's another part of you, another part of the world, another part of humanity that's on the other side of that, that wants to see your success, that wants to see you bloom, that wants to see you be celebrated, and you are part of that collective. You are part of that collective. Period. Like, you have always wanted to see people win. You have always wanted to see people win, and if that wasn't always the case, it definitely is now, because you don't let your past hold you back from who you are now. And if you dreamed of being the kind of person that could celebrate and love every win for every person, then you got there and you fought to get to this point. You achieved that dream, you achieved that goal. Hold on one second, I'm gonna get a water. Go get a water. All right. My cat. Isn't he literally adorable? Hi, handsome. Hi, precious. Oh, yeah, you want to lay on the cards? Okay, buddy. All right. Well, anyway, as I was saying, you don't allow those past versions of yourself to hold you back. And you will never encourage other people to allow past versions of themselves to hold them back. The only person that you hold them accountable to, as well as you, is whoever you or they are now. And that's the kind of person you are. That's all. You know? And you being this blessing of dichotomy for the world, this lesson of exposing that you can be good and bad simultaneously. That doesn't mean that you are inherently good or bad. It just makes you human. And teaching people, confirmation burp, that accepting both sides of themselves and embracing both sides of themselves and learning to love both sides of themselves, right? 2112 on the timer. That is when they're going to feel whole. That is when they're going to be able to find fulfillment within themselves. And 2121 on the timer, that's when they're going to be tested of their commitment towards self. Can they really choose themselves? Even if it isn't the prettiest, even if it isn't the best, even if it isn't the most amazing, wonderful aspects of themselves, can they still accept it? And can they still love them? You're a blessing to this world because you are a lesson to this world. You as a human being, you as a soul, was brought here with a specific purpose to show people that there's nothing wrong with who they are and that there's nothing wrong with what they want, and that being here and having the opportunity to be themselves and choosing those things of themselves. 2222 on the timer. That's the blessing. And that's the fulfillment. And only when you do that, only when you choose to really love yourself, accept yourself, and come into yourself, only then will you actually feel at peace. And like life is enjoyable and lovable, just like anything else. You know? You're a blessing because you're a lesson. You're a blessing because you're a lesson. Is there anything else, Spirit? Anything else at all? A time to give rather than take. You are a very giving person. A take time to breathe out. Exactly. You are like a breath of fresh air. It's like people move through their entire lives holding their breath, or moving like the second they graduate from high school, or like throughout their senior year of high school, they're going and then like they're thrown out into the world. 2332 on the timer, and then it's like go to college, go get a job, go do the thing, oh my god, get a promotion, work, find the person, get married, have children, oh my god, go work. And then, you know, but like when they meet you or when they run into you collective, it's just like oh my god, I forgot I could do that. Yeah, oh my god. I have a very itchy hand right now, sorry. I have dyshydrotic eczema, which means like I get like kind of little like blisters. It's a chronic eczema thing. Anyways, look at this. Be bold and make the first move. That's you, collective. And like a new start is coming. 2424 on the timer. How lovely is that? How lovely is that? Like, you are such a beautiful soul. And like, the reason why you are at this point and why you've reached this point in your life is because you took a chance on yourself. You made the first move you could on yourself. And that's why you're here now. Which way did you want that, Spirit? Your hard work is paying off. You work hard. You work hard to get to where you are. You have worked hard to get to where you're at now. And that's why you're a blessing. Because, like, despite how many people have tried to stop you, despite how many people have actively tried to sabotage you, despite how many, like, issues, problems, fights came up because you chose this for yourself, because you chose yourself, or because you chose decency and humanity and love, 25-25 on the timer, not just for yourself but for others. You didn't give up on that because you listened to yourself and you trusted yourself when you told yourself, I'm going to choose to love. I'm going to choose to love. Because I might not know much else about life, or much of what anything or any of this really means. 25:52 on the timer. But I know love. And I trust that love is the one thing that we really need. That's why you're a blessing, collective. Because you really are the one thing that we really need. True embodiment of love. I love you, angels. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read your energy for you. If you liked this, go on ahead and comment, like, share, and subscribe. Tell me how this resonated with you, and let me know what other kind of readings you would like, because this was very fun. 26 on the timer, and I want to do more like this in the future. I hope I'll see you again soon, angels. Bye!